Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of AngularAir. I am Justin, your host, and on today's episode, we are going to learn about ngIndia, not only the conference, but also the community in India around Angular. So it should be pretty exciting. Let's say hi to our panelists, then we'll meet our guests, and then we'll get into the content. Joining us today, we've got Alyssa. Alyssa, how's it going?
Hi, so happy to be here. Hello.
Awesome. And Mike's with us. Mike, what's going on?
Not too much. It's not Friday. I have to keep telling myself I'm all excited. Like, oh, Friday, we've got a show today. But it's not Friday. I still have to work tomorrow.
It's my Friday today. So, yeah.
Happy Justin Friday.
Justin Friday, right. Awesome. And our guest today joining us is DJ. DJ, how's it going?
Hey, hi, good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm doing great, thank you, and thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome, for sure. We're excited that you are here. Looking forward to hearing more about ngIndia and the community in India. Do you want to tell our viewers a bit about yourself and give a background and stuff like that before we start?
Yeah, sure. So my full name is Dhananjay Kumar, and people call me DJ. I have been running Angular community in India since 2000 and probably 16, 2000, end of 2016. I started doing Angular. Before that, I was doing .NET community mainly. I'm a Microsoft MVP since 2010, so it's like 12 times in a row. And I'm a Google developer expert in Angular as well, probably due to work in the Angular community. I have authored a book on Angular, which is, according to my publisher, the most selling Angular book in India. I'm not sure whether they're lying or right, but that's what they told me, and I'm like happy with that, even if it's a lie. And yeah, pretty much. And like I used to work as developer advocate. I worked for Telerik. Like I worked as a developer advocate for Telerik like for 3 years, 2012 to 2015. In early days of Kendo UI and all the stuff. And then I worked as a developer advocate for Infragistics in India for until 2019. 2019, I started my own training and consulting company. Uh, and yes, ngIndia is also a work, like organizing a conference. So that's pretty much about me. For last 3-4 years, I'm mainly into JavaScript and Angular when it comes to technology.
So you haven't tried out Maui yet, is what you're saying, in .NET?
Yeah, no. I used to work on .NET like earlier, but I'm not very much updated with what's happening new.
What's going on?
Yeah, going on. I heard a news yesterday that they launched WCF.NET, WCF Core, which used to be very popular on .NET Framework. They launched WCF Core like 2-3 days back. And I used to be WCF MVP for like 5-6 years. That news excited me, but I've not tried it yet.
Well, I'm
Nice.
so happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk a lot of Angular stuff, but all of our panelists, and myself included, have some .NET background or .NET work that we've been doing, so we may need to talk a little bit about that too. That may sneak into the conversation.
.NET on Angular on Angular.
Yeah, right.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
I'm down. I like it.
I cannot confirm or deny that we've talked about other topics on Angular. No, I can confirm.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we even had like a React episode a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we dabble. We're
Quick plug. The next week's episode is not Angular based.
Oh, what's next week?
Well, it is Angular based. I think.
Look that far ahead.
It's Angular Forms, but yeah.
That's I'm thinking of the wrong one. Never mind. I'm derailing. I apologize.
Yeah, I think there's some Angular in there. Hopefully. All right. Anywho, all right. Should we start talking about ngIndia first?
Oh my
Or do you want to talk about the community first? Either way. Or maybe the talk about ngIndia will lead to the discussion of the community, and everything will kind of come together, I think. Yeah.
Now, I guess we should start with talking about community first, because by community ngIndia started. I mean, that's what I think. So you want me to talk about Indian Angular community a bit?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. So, so like like back in 2018 when I was asked by my employer to get into JavaScript, which was like infrastructure that time. Before that, I'm very much in .NET space. So when I was asked to do JavaScript and Angular, I was very surprised that even not a single community of Angular was in India at that time. Everywhere it's again not going into a not going into a complaining mood, but everywhere it's, if it is JavaScript then it's React, if it is
Right.
JavaScript then it's React. So if you're going to a JavaScript event, and I had very little experience from of JavaScript and how JavaScript community used to work in India in 2018. I was very much aware and familiar with .NET community and how Microsoft community works, but I was not very much aware and knowing the rules and regulation of open source or JavaScript community. I'm talking 2018, like August, September month. And when I went to JavaScript community, the first thing is that I like in that community, people were not knowing me. So so there was like a benefit. You can go and ask them that, hey, can I do some Angular in your community? And it was like it was like not very welcoming that like Angular in existing JavaScript communities. So I thought, okay, let's do Angular community because anyway, I have to do Angular now. And and in India, like in the perspective of India, I would say that at that time, uh, people who were doing Angular, most of them were kind of .NET developers. Like 60-70% of them were .NET developers. So for me, it was easier to create Angular community because these .NET developers, I was already familiar with them due to .NET community work. And and I started with the help of Infragistics, of course. My employer supported, and a big credit goes to Infragistics to create Angular community in India at that time, because I was developer evangelist and they allowed me to go to different cities of India and start doing free workshops and educating people on Angular. And I started doing that, and then I started coming closer to Angular community, like globally on uh, mainly on Twitter, and mainly people like Todd Moto and Gia Sands and from the community. They were like very helpful in the beginning. And of course Angular team like Vikram was there, Stephen was there, and all those people. So I went to MS Build back in 2000, and I guess it was 2017. I went to MS Build and there was Angular booth and in MS Build, and there I met Rob and a couple of Angular team members there, and I really got motivated. And there I come to know about there's something called ngConf. I had no idea. And there only they told me that like after MS Build, I had to go to Japan to give some Angular training for to one of the Infosys customers. And the Angular team told me that if you are going to Japan like next to next week, there's NG Japan happening. We'll get you a ticket for NG Japan. You can go and see like how it happens and all that. So I went to like 2 weeks after NG Build and attended NG Japan. There again, I met speakers, and I got really motivated. NG Japan is one of the coolest people around. So even though I was just attending, but but the respect and inclusion I got from the community from the NG Japan was really motivating. So I came back and I thought, why not? Why we should do NG India? and and yeah, and then we did NG India first in 2018. It was like a smaller 150 people with almost zero support from Angular team in 2018. But 2019 it was different story. Angular team sent us Vikram as a speaker, and Vikram used to work for Angular Universal that time. And 2019 we had like around 300 people. 2020, and we keep doing this Angular community, like educating people as much as we could all across India. And 2020, like it was huge. We had like around 900 to 1,000 people attending it. We had three speakers from Angular team, and of course Michael Hartke. He has been coming since 2019, like one of the great supporter and motivator for us. And Jassy Sanders. He has, like, this time he's not able to come, but he was there in 2019. He was there in 2020. So our speakers are also, like, they are very helpful, and they love, like, here, if you come to ngIndia as a speaker, like, your 1 hour will go only in getting clicked from the audience. They would come to you and they'll take selfie with you. So it's a very personal affair in India. It's not like, I've been to ngConf as well. They are, like, too professional.
Mhm.
Like, very professional. That is good. But here, like, if they see you, they'll stop you on the in the hall, and like half an hour, like 100 people if taking selfie with you, it would take half an hour, right? So,
That's cool.
and yeah, now Angular community is very good. Like, when we started, we had one, two GDs, but they were like kind of, I guess, mainly GD due to their open source contribution and all. I mean, I was not knowing them, that they were like Angular GD. I still don't know them. Uh, but they were like mainly into, I guess, I that's my assumption, like due to code and open source and like contribution to Angular library maybe. But when we started giving chance to people to speak in ngIndia, like, and by that, like, 4 5 people became Angular GD now, who kind of
Nice.
started speaking in ngIndia, like two girls, Nishu Goel and Sashti Jan. They were like kind of started as a volunteer in ngIndia. Now they are Angular GD and those things, because they got motivated and they started contributing more and more
Content.
in different ways. Yeah, so it's a lot of brag about ngIndia, but this is how it is.
That's awesome.
No, it's awesome that you're as passionate as you are about something like this, and about the personal nature of it, about being able to go to talk to anyone. Some of that's also up to the speaker of how they conduct themselves and how well they interact with the community at a conference. That if you're open and you're personable and you're there to have those types of conversations, I'd like to think that that happens at more conferences, but the fact that you promote that
Mhm.
really helps enable it even more.
For sure. It's interesting to hear the journey of, like, kind of like a short time, right? To be building up this community. It's starting with really feels like nothing, to a community, to a conference, to then both of those growing together in what feels like a short time, which is really, really exciting to hear. Um,
Yeah, when you
yeah.
started with, well, we were only 150 people. 150 people is a lot of people
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
in a room for a thing, but to see where it is now is a vast difference from 150, which is awesome, and congratulations on that.
Yeah.
But 150 is nothing to sneeze
It's-
at. If you can pull 150 people together on a single topic to talk about something for a day or two, that's a pretty good accomplishment in my book.
Yeah, and one thing I would add, like to add here, that since beginning, when I saw React conferences in India, their ticket prices was very high in the context of Indian economy. For NG India, we have made sure that our ticket price is as affordable as possible. Like, our ticket price starts from 35 USD only. So,
Okay.
like, only 35 USD, and in 35 USD, my audience is getting opportunity to learn from Michael Hartke, right? Opportunity to learn from, like, this really great speaker of Angular world. And so there we have, like, I have made sure that anyone who is new in India starting development, they should able to come to the conference. And this year also we started 35 USD, like our early bird price, and then regular price were like 45 USD maybe. uh, I mean, less than 50 USD. And still, like, this year we have sold 500 tickets, and still like 20 days to go. So that is one thing which is, like, community is really liking, because they know that like that 35 USD is also, like, they get it back in terms of their
Mhm.
food, shirts, and other stuff. So yeah, that is something, and it is possible because speakers are, like, most of them are from GD or Google employees or Microsoft employees, so they can afford their traveling, or so that helps me to
Mhm.
achieve goal of putting ticket as low as possible.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So when you build up that community and also the people coming to the conference and things like that, like kind of how did that unfold? Did you do a lot of work to try and reach out to people and say, hey, we've got this group? And like when you do the community stuff outside of the conference, are there user groups? Are there meetups? Do you have like in-person meetups or virtual meetups? Like how do you keep the community going and thriving and growing outside of the conference?
Yeah, so as I told you, like in the beginning, when I tried to plug in Angular as a framework or technology to existing JavaScript communities, it was not very welcoming. So
Mhm.
I had to create my own community, to be very honest. And so the community name is Geek97,
Okay.
and the conference name is like ngIndia. So through Geek 97 we went to, now you can say Geek 97 goes to every cities of India, almost like all big possible cities. So like from 2016 to 2018, I would say, in that 12 15 16 months we did like 16 workshops in 10 different cities of India. So we went there. Now how we got the audience, uh, that's mainly through LinkedIn and Twitter. No other, like I keep posting, keep spamming, we are coming to your city, we are coming to your city.
Mhm.
And Yeah, so only that channel. So now Geek 97 is a community in itself,
Okay.
where we do our webinars, like in lockdown, in COVID, like
Mm.
after India 2020, we used to do our webinars, and you'd be surprised that our webinars used to have like usually have 400 to 500 live audience.
Mm.
Nice. Okay.
uh, and in our webinar we had speakers like Devra ma'am, Ben. Those people came as a speaker in webinars.
Mm.
And yeah, so now Geek 97 community, and we do, and now there are volunteers in different cities, so they do, like in beginning I used to go, now those volunteers do their event
Take
in
care of
their
their cities.
respective city. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that is
Nice.
so cool. Yeah, I just found this one of the ones you were talking about, Angular Masterclass from Geek 97.
Yes.
There's a lot of content actually too. You've got a YouTube channel and there's a bunch of stuff under that. What's the 97? Is that the year? A year that's important to you or?
Oh no, actually, uh, nine is 7 is my favorite number, and nine is favorite number of one of our partner. So we wanted to put
That's cool.
79. 79 doesn't look that good, so we made it 97.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
That's so cool. Yeah.
uh,
So
and
those,
in India, yeah.
sorry, so those like when you talk about the initial workshops and stuff, so those were like events that you had, like not specifically a workshop for a company, but you did a standalone workshop that you self-promoted through, like you said, Twitter, LinkedIn, to try and drive that traffic to and get people coming to.
Yeah, so like I used to find some sponsors for the. So let's say that if I'm
Mhm.
going to Mumbai from Delhi, and it is costing me like 25,000 Indian rupees, like my flight ticket and hotel and all. So after Infogistics, until I was in Infogistics, like 2019, Infogistics used to take care of those expenses. But after 2019, I tried to find a sponsor for myself who can like sponsor my one trip. And what I do is that to run the community, like if this community event is on Saturday, I'll give like 4 hours of free training to their team on
Mm,
Friday evening.
mm.
Okay. Makes
That's
sense.
So
Real smart.
it's like win-win for everyone.
Mhm.
So and it's easy to get those sponsors in India, but still it is very win for those companies. They're getting a GD or MVP to train their team, and they're not paying me anything that day. They're just taking care of like pizza and other stuff for the audience who are coming, and
Right.
my flight and all. Yeah, so that was how it was working until COVID, like 2020 March.
Mm,
After that, we have not done any of these city workshop.
Mhm.
We took risk and just announced in India 2022. 21 we did not do anything, and I'm not a big supporter personally. I may be wrong, but I'm not a very big supporter of online conferences. I feel that people cannot watch Netflix for more than 2 hours. How you are expecting them to pay you money and listen to you for 2 days,
2 days.
It is a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the one of the major component of conferences is networking.
Yes.
Like learning is there on YouTube, content is there on YouTube. So I never did ngIndia online. I waited in 2000, like we did many webinars of 1 hours, but 2021 we waited, and 22 we took risk, but it looks good just 2 weeks
Yay.
away.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Makes me think of the like maybe the next step is the whole metaverse thing, and that's where we're going to get to virtual conferences more, where then that networking maybe is part of it,
Is
right? I don't know. But then we're
you
all
know
buying
what I,
NFT clothes and stuff to show off at the I don't know if that's really where we want to be. But
yeah,
yeah, there is nothing
but
like
I,
seeing somebody in person, you know.
yeah, I personally believe that we human are already, like in the context of human race, most disconnected
Mhm.
generation, and in that this COVID and everything online is making us more and more like we four, if sitting together right now in person, the relationship we would create,
You're right.
and
Mhm.
for sitting on a like behind the internet are
Yeah.
two
Right.
entirely different things.
Yeah.
So I may be wrong, but that's my opinion.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
No. And the vibes, like it's funny how I kind of forget because I'll go to a conference and I'll be reminded like, oh, this was what it felt like, right? Like to see not only like see people, but just like the brainstorming that goes on for me. Like it's just like I'm introduced to all these fresh ideas. And so it like for me personally, like refills that creativity bucket. And so I don't know, it is different than anything online so far has been able to
I,
emulate.
I've since the start of COVID, I've yet to attend an in-person event yet, and I am forgetting the different aspects of being at an in-person conference.
Mm.
But looking back on all the in-person conferences I've been lucky enough to attend, it's not necessarily the specific talks, it's the hallway conversations that you were
Hallway
talking about
conversations.
earlier, DJ. Those different interactions, those different chats and discussions and everything else that I hold dear in my mind over the talks, because a lot of the talks end up online afterwards and everything else. And not to diminish any of the speakers, but those can be rehashed and revisited after the fact. But those hallway conversations, the opportunity to have different diverse conversations, is what I really, really miss.
Hmm.
Heck,
Yeah.
that's where I met these two.
I know as an educator, mentor, helper, like it's so rewarding to just run into somebody and have them, you know, give you feedback that like, hey, you helped me here, or I was so encouraged by this, or this meant a lot to me. Like, yeah, it's that thing that's missing, you know, but you get in person. That for me is super rewarding. So
Yeah.
for sure, those hallway conversations, those moments where somebody will come up and say, you know, I really enjoyed this, or this helped me figure this out, and you're like, okay, I did
Yeah.
something. I helped
Yeah.
somebody. That's great.
I am on
Yeah,
the right track.
right.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
didn't just create content, but like it was useful to at least one person, and that then feels rewarding, right?
Yeah.
And it's
So
hard to tell that.
I'm so excited though that it's like tickets are selling and have you met your goals so far? Do you still like where would you say you're at goal wise for the conference?
So this year, when I started planning, I thought I would max able to bring 250 people in the room.
Oh my
That's what
gosh.
I thought. But we are already like almost about to touch 500.
Yeah.
So it's
That's great.
really motivating.
Oh, that's
And why I took number 250 less, because I thought due to COVID many people would not like to come
able to. Yeah.
to a conference, and also I thought maybe people want everything online. I mean, that's why my assumption, they may think like, okay, why not online, why to go, because keep in mind that even if it is 35 USD for ticket, if someone is coming from different city, like not
Yeah.
living in Delhi,
There's
they're
still
coming
a
from
ton of other
Bangalore,
expenses that go into. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
like flight ticket and their
Mhm.
hotel ticket and everything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, but it's motivating.
That's awesome.
We have good number.
I assume your space was flexible enough then to be able to hold to hold double your number. You're not like, oh, you will all be standing. Like,
No. So we sold like 200 tickets really fast in early
Mm.
bird. So I realized that we are going to pass
Bigger,
this
bigger.
number.
Okay.
So I like able to manage a, the changes in infrastructure and all.
Okay. That's awesome.
How's the logistics of that been? Like, is it pretty easy for you to? I mean, easy is a relative term, right? But is it pretty straightforward for you to be able to secure location for your conference and like you said,
Yeah.
pivot to a larger space? I know a lot of times conference organizers have a really difficult time with securing the venue, right? Or any changes to the venue has a lot of logistic issues that are hard to manage. How's that experience been for you to kind of pull that off?
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked this question. So I'm assuming that you have like I mean you are not been to India, or even if you are here, you are not for longer time, right? India is a country where if you are able to make emotional connection, things are easier for you.
Okay.
If you so what I have done during 4 years, I have made very personal connection with my vendors, like the company which does stage and sound, company which does photography, videography, company, and the hotel where we do. So we do in one of the what to say very popular hotel chain of India is Leela Hotel. It's like kind of many people would prefer staying in Leela over JW Marriott in India. It's Indian hotel chain. So since we have been doing, I have the same vendors, same hotel where we have been doing the conferences. So it's just a phone call now that
Nice.
hey, I want to and since Leela is a very big hotel, so for them it's not very tough to give me bigger hall if I'm telling them like 6 weeks or 8 weeks earlier.
Okay.
So it was not tough at all. It was tough in 2018 when I
Mm.
was not knowing these
About that.
vendors and these hotels and all. But now since it's 5 years working with same set of people, and they are also very invested in India. They see, they come, uh,
Mhm.
you know. So now it's easy. Now it's not tough, to be very honest.
That's good. That's good.
Nice. I'm sensing this theme of personal connection that really runs through that environment and that culture, right? That seems to bridge these things, these moments you're talking about. That's really interesting to hear about. Um,
Mm.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's
Yeah.
I always enjoy this discussion, and I'm just always amazed by when we have guests that come on, they start talking about all these things, and this is on top of the things you already do outside of that, and just trying to quantify the amount of time you're throwing at all of these things and making it all happen is just so amazing
Mm.
because that's it's a lot of stuff going on in your life that you're pulling off. It's amazing.
Mm. What is the red thing on your wall? I have to ask. I must know, DJ. What is it? Is it a
Where it is?
is it a
Oh, that's a
light?
night bulb. Night bulb.
Okay. Okay. I thought maybe it was a door stop, but then I was like, why would a door stop be up?
Oh
Okay.
no,
I'm with you now.
that's
Okay.
night bulb.
I gotcha.
That's like the on-air light. When you're on air, it
On
comes on,
air.
right?
Yeah.
Lets
Yeah.
everybody know that
Yeah,
you're on
on air
air.
light. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
on air light. Yeah.
You mentioned that I forgot to turn on my lights.
Oh, you look so good now. You don't need to look better, all right? That's why we didn't mention it. We don't need the competition, okay?
That's fine. I was looking over the speaker lineup and the talks and the
Ooh.
topics for the conference, and I'm gonna have to. Are the videos going to be available later on? Because there's some pretty interesting topics that I'm interested to learn about.
Yeah, so we on Geek 97 YouTube channel, we put all those recordings. In 2018, we don't have recording in 2018 because somehow like recording did not come good. It was our first time,
Oh,
but we but 2019 and 2020 all talks are available on Geek 97 YouTube channel.
that's awesome. Was that hard to figure out, like recording setups or do you just have a team of people that is savvy?
So we had like we had I mean, like in 2018, we recorded like not in a good way. We tried to record the screen and all, but 2019 now, so it's not like from the organizing team. It's the vendor which does now recording and all, and they are like good and they know how to do that. So if you see the video qualities of 2019 and 20, um, like you would find it okay.
So is there a theme to this year and the talks that are scheduled, or any kind of like, or can we let's talk about the different talks that are going to be here for NG India maybe.
This year the topics. So this year we have divided. We are mainly focusing on two verticals. One is performance and one is micro front end.
Nice.
So we have Michael doing a keynote, and he's going to do technical keynote where he would talk about performance at a scale. Then we have invited speaker Pratik Bhatnagar. He used to work in Google there, and he was, I guess, if I'm not wrong, in Chrome team or something, but now he works for Coinbase. So he's going to talk about performance in general, like all the prims we need to know. Uh, then we again have one performance talk. So there are three performance talk where because Angular is kind of mature now and people want to learn more about the performance and those kind of stuff. After that, our other part of the day after lunch, we have three talks. One is on the web components, and then two talks directly on the micro front ends. Because when we asked the community, they wanted to learn about micro front ends. Um, and those two talks are like C. Prasad Koirala. He's another partner of NG India, and he's one of the most popular trainer in India. So he's going to do micro front ends, and then Nisu Goel is doing micro front ends, and Luis is doing web components. So again, they are like related to each other. So after lunch is micro front end. So before lunch is performance. So and before in the morning what we done that we are going to put we have put like four JavaScript talk because like people need to learn JavaScript. So one is on how to calculate value of this inside Java in JavaScript. One talk is on closure, and one talk is on prototype chain among the objects. And that reminds me that I first started learning when I started learning Node.js. I started learning from you when you did your video in Code Schools. You remember you had your videos on Code Schools?
Yeah, Code School, dude. That was the beginning of it all. I was at Code. I loved Code School. They got acquired by Pluralsight right around the time that I was like, I need to go to full-time dev. So that was
and I still remember that demo in Node.js where you were uploading file on Node.js, and I was very new in JavaScript that time. So since then, I'm your fan. So thank you so much for inspiring
so
since then.
Thank you.
So,
man.
and at that time when Code School, like they had a concept of like videos also of the trainer. At that time, very few websites had videos of trainer. It was only the screen. So yeah. Yeah, so we have JavaScript performance, and then one talk from GraphQL, one on Auth0, one is a standalone component. Of course, we are going to talk because it is something developers should know. Then we have one talk on monorepo and NX. See, I remember the whole agenda. I'm not reading anywhere.
I know. I'm like, I'm right now organizing a conference for the fall, and I'm like, is this expected of all organizers? Because no, just like that's awesome.
And not only the schedule, you need to remember when someone is coming to India, when they are leaving from India. Are they going to Taj Mahal? They are not going to Taj Mahal.
Yeah, you just have it memorized, I guess. That's ridiculous.
So much stuff. So much stuff. That's really cool to hear that there's like the JavaScript talks that you're talking about that are in there too. Like I think a lot of the conferences I've been to for Angular specific stuff has kind of been real Angular centric, and it is neat to see that there's a little bit of content around kind of the underpinning of what we use, JavaScript, and there's always something to learn and nuggets to pick up if you go to that and like listen to that and stuff. So that's cool to have that content mixed in there.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk to the developers, like who comes to I mean, developers who come to conferences, or come to NG India, they are like very much now comfortable with Angular in general. Uh, mm, uh, mm, Only one talk I have plugged in because I love to teach. I have a talk ready for myself for Gambit of Angular services. Still, like so that is one Angular talk, and one is a standalone component. Monorepo again is not only Angular; it's like kind of in general. And then we have one talk Angular in multi-tenant environment. So it's
Okay.
again more on the deployment side instead of the Angular side. Yeah, but we did not have a lot new in Angular also to teach this
Right.
year. If you see in the framework, so
That speaks to the maturity of the framework, but it's nice to see that standalone components are going to be mentioned as well, because that's something exciting
yeah.
that is coming down the road. And I credit you again for not only organizing and keeping track of all that, but you just mentioned that you're also going to be a speaker at your own conference.
Yeah.
That
Like
sounds,
I
that sounds
you're
incredibly
literally
challenging.
making everybody look bad. I just want to say, if you could slow your roll, it might
Hey,
make the
hey,
other
Alyssa,
humans.
Alyssa, you mentioned you're putting together a conference. Are you speaking at at that conference?
It depends, Mike. Are
I
you
think
doing?
the bar's been raised for you now.
I know. It sounds like it. I'm gonna do 2 talks. No, I don't know how you're doing that. Is that not stressful to you to like run
uh,
everything and speak? Like,
so I don't take new topic to speak in NG India. I take the topic which is already like I don't have to prepare. Like
right.
already I have delivered like 4 or 5 times at least that talk.
Mm,
So that is one thing help. But here in India, since I have done a lot of teaching to the community,
mm.
those developers expect me to be on a stage at least for one talk.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah, I can see it.
they would give on the feedback that
Where
why
was he?
this
Where were
you know
you?
yeah so and another honest answer of that part is that my major job now is training as well. So if out of 500 300 new people are coming, I need to show them
Reaching.
my skill for half an hour
Yeah.
such that I get my business running for coming year, uh, such that I can run these communities and things. So that's an opportunity for me also to showcase to everyone, because my talk never gets selected in any other conferences.
Right?
Maybe maybe I don't write to my talk good, never. So I sometimes I wonder that maybe NG India can reject my talk next year. so so like this is, I mean, and NG India is a big platform. So as a speaker now, I don't want to take this assumption that people know me. I don't need to speak now,
Oh,
because
right.
those half an hour of talk is going to be on YouTube for ever,
Right.
and that helps me.
Yep.
Like when I
Absolutely.
apply for a training, if they ask me that, hey, so I everyone doesn't know you, right? So I can give them my
Yeah.
YouTube
Link
link
to that.
of the engineer talk. So
So,
yeah.
can we talk about trainings for a second? You all seem to know what this word means, but I'm like, I know what a workshop is. I know what a talk is. When are you like, is training going into an office and then doing a workshop? Or are you like just looking at their code and teaching them how to do it better? Like, what is training? Like, how does one train a person? Is
That
it,
could
it sounds
that question is to
stressful.
me.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me what training means to you.
Oh, okay. So in India is the first option. What you say? Like we don't. Most of the time they don't show us their code for their client agreements and other stuff. So they cannot show us their real code which they're writing. But his agenda is fixed for like 4 days, and I go and teach them. Mainly they invite you. If audience is new, like they are new to Angular, then you just tell them, "Look, okay, this is the way you pass data from one component to another component." Now
Okay.
they will write I'll give them some assignment, they will do that, and so on. So it's
Okay. So
like
it's
it
kind of
just
like a workshop, right? But just like you
it's a
go to
kind of
them.
workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind
Okay.
of workshop. Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's yeah, but when they show you code, then it's kind of consulting. where
I
like
see. Okay.
where they are already expert of Angular and they are stuck somewhere, or they need some expert advice to make their code better. So that is like, in my opinion, in India, that is consulting, not training.
Okay. This helps me much. Thank you. Because when you say training, I kind of start to hyperventilate. It makes me, it just sounds like I go and answer their questions, no matter what their questions are, and help them with whatever code, all of it. And that's just like,
Oh.
okay, that sounds stressful, but okay. Okay. I could see like I've prepared curriculum. Here you
Right,
go.
it's curriculum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's like that's like the mix. Like the workshops fall into training, and it's really kind of like what is the curriculum and how are you going to approach to teaching it? Like in a workshop form, you're probably presenting stuff and maybe you field some questions. In another format, you're presenting the same curriculum, but you're more engaged with the individual students, right?
Okay.
And maybe you have a smaller group and you're saying, look, while I go through this is really collaborative. I'm going to teach you this curriculum, but you're going to also ask questions. I'm going to do my best to answer whatever you ask, but all would fall under the bucket. Like DJ mentioned, is a great distinction, right? That all fall in the bucket of training and teaching.
Mhm.
And then, if you're actually looking at specific scenarios, like their code, then now
Okay.
you're like consulting, right?
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good way
Oh.
to like that.
I was going to pull up the agenda. Did you mention, are there workshops at ngIndia? Did we?
No, we don't have workshops.
Okay.
We have like one
Make sure.
day.
Okay.
Because why we don't have workshop? Because to get like if we want to do workshop, again we have to charge a lot, because the person who is going to host workshop, if he's Indian, then we can like pay him in Indian rupees. But if he's coming from outside, then conversion in USD, and then that amount becomes very less for the person who is going to do workshop, and
Well,
that is
I'm
not
getting into workshop doing. Like I'll be teaching my first one this year at ngConf, and I know you and I had talked behind the scenes about next year me coming. So I'm just going to offer it if you want it. I will teach a workshop,
okay.
and it could be
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah.
And I hope all you three come to India in 2023. This year we are 2 months late. Usually we do last Saturday of February,
Okay.
because right now it's very hot here. It's like 45 degrees centigrade, which is
Yeah.
not cool. But in February weather is very nice. It's
Is
like
it?
20, 25. Yeah. So that's the reason we do in February. But this year due to COVID and all, we are doing in
That
doing
makes
in
sense.
May.
That makes sense. So bring your short shorts is what you're saying.
I only bring short shorts.
I mean, yeah.
I don't wear like long pants. So, hey, it works for me.
Oh God. We should all clarify. Shorty's not walking around the conference in a Speedo. It's not that short. It's not that
No, they're not short. Yeah, right. Okay. So not 2 words of short, just shorts.
Just short.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to set some wrong expectations here.
Yeah.
That I
People
can't
might
live
be
up
like,
to.
"Woo, what conference
Right.
is he going to next? We need to know." Oh, this is Mike's
No.
disagreeing. He's out. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I did
Mike
not.
shaking his camera head.
Oh, you
Right.
goofers.
Wow,
I found
okay,
your Geek 97 meetup and Twitter handle. I found you,
Yeah.
so I'll share those out in the tweet chain,
Nice.
so we can have them all
I
together.
put
I
those in the
assume.
chat too.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah. This is cool. So it's a 1-day conference?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
correct?
1 day conference.
1-day conference.
We
okay.
wanted to do 2 days this year, but again, due to COVID, I thought, let me do one day. Like after success of 2020, I was very motivated to do 2 days conference, but again, this COVID thing happened. But I'm very aspired to do 2 days conference in 2023. Maybe like 1 day's workshops and 1 day's talks. One challenge in India is that people don't like here 20 minutes talk. Like in ngConf, you have 20 minutes, 20 minute slot. In India, if you India, like here, if when we go and take feedback, here people are habituated of 45 minutes talk.
45. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's when because I'm organizing DevReach right now, and it's bringing together the .NET side and the JavaScript side. And I found the JavaScript community is more okay with like a 5-minute talk. Whereas if you asked a person from the .NET community to do like a 5-minute talk, they'd be like, I'm
No.
60 minutes or nothing, right? Like, like what, 5 minutes? They're like, what could I do in 5 minutes? I'm like, I don't know. Everybody in JavaScript does it. So no, I feel you on that. We compromise and we're now at 45 minutes. But
I have an answer for it. That
yeah,
why .NET speakers want 60 minutes, because
tell
.NET
me.
speakers mainly are now on the older side of like they are like JavaScript speakers are very young people nowadays. Like
Mm,
still they are old people, but like people who are starting from the college, just out of the college. So for them, I still believe that somehow getting onto the stage is the biggest motivation, that even if it is for 5 minutes, let me be on the stage.
yeah.
However, for the .NET speakers, they have been doing for the years. So they want to, they are like kind of, no, if you don't give me stage for 60 minutes, there's no point for me to be on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I first came across that attitude, I was like, who are you people? Like,
Hey, I'm just hearing you call me young, and I'm on board for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So into
I mean,
It's
JavaScript,
been,
young,
it's been a
check.
while
All
since
right.
that's been.
heck.
I'm never getting old. That's
No,
great.
he said young and hip. So, you know, he did.
I'm closer to broken hip than being hip, but that's okay.
Broken hip.
Oh my goodness.
I
But
go get that checked out.
I am so excited about like this year's conference and next. I can't wait to check out like I'm like bookmarking I subscribed, but I don't see. Do you all see notifications? For some reason I think I'm blind to them now. They pop up and then they
Notifications for
go and
what?
then just anything, just notifications.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you see them, you read them, Justin.
I
This
got a
is you.
notification that we had an episode today.
That
And you
explains
read
why you
it.
don't respond to me, Alyssa.
I am sorry. I will do better. So I have to make special things like sticky notes that make me.
Sticky notes.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
IRL
another
notifications.
right.
mhm.
Another reason why it's so amazing to hear this story about like doing all the things, right? Like we have a hard enough time like keeping track of all the things that we have on our plate, like to just imagine,
Did
running
we-
a conference, running a community, and doing your regular, consulting work, training work, like just so much, but so awesome. But I guess is it the passion that drives you, the joy of knowing that you're reaching those people that really like
Mhm.
take that to the next level, make you go, okay, I'm grinding through it.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I love to teach. So,
Mm.
like at the core, this is teaching. Everything is like teaching is the pizza, and everything is a topping on top of that. So if you are, I believe that if you are really aspired to do a conference, and again, I'm talking in the context of Indian context, it's very tough to get the audience because you have to have a connection with them. If like so you have to teach, and when you teach here, one credit we should give to Indian audience, that they are not that judgmental. So even if like let's say that for 15 minutes my slides are not working, no one would come and tell me that, hey, I gave you $35, why slide was not working.
Okay.
They would be like cool, okay, it's fine. So here audience is not that professional, or not that kind
Mm.
of that they would get angry if something goes south. You can talk to them, so that's the plus, that's very big advantage. Second is that C Prasad Koirala, who is the other person of ngIndia. So since he is a very big .NET trainer for like decades, he has a very good understanding of community. So it's like kind of organic. Engineer is the organic output of everything. When I started Geek 97, I did not started to do for ngIndia. Like I even did not know that. I came to know about ngConf when I attended MS Build and ng Japan. So yeah, it's easy.
That's
Is
cool.
isn't Japan still a thing? I looked it up and I couldn't find anything from, I think 2020 was the last. So if it's
Yeah,
still a
they
thing, you
were.
all need to tell me about it.
Yeah, they did, like they did NG Japan, I guess 2020 they did not do, because I believe that 2020 NG India was the only conference, because it was in February and then COVID started.
Hmm.
So like maybe online conferences happened, but not offline. And I was so lucky in 2020, you would not believe that, because this COVID discussion started in February
Mm.
2020, like COVID is coming, and Google issued directive to their employees that don't travel anywhere due to COVID on 1st of March, and NG India was on 29th of February.
Just made it.
And Rob was here and Manu was here. They were like if it were like 1 day, 1 week after,
Would have missed
would
it.
have not uh, able to come. So
Interesting.
Man.
Interesting. Changes. But still on track, still going. NG India is still there, so that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I mean we were last. I may be wrong, but just to feel good, we were like last offline conference, Angular conference before COVID, and going to be first
First.
Angular conference after the COVID
Oh,
era.
that's awesome.
Many online conferences happen in between, of course, but like in-person conference, I'm talking about.
Right.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Super cool. So, tickets still available? Can people still buy, or
I guess we are like 15 or 20 tickets more available. We are going to be sold out in a day or two.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Sounds cool. And then just a couple weeks from now, and then it'll be live,
2
huh?
weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're getting to the top of the hour, so we can kind of wrap up here. Any last things we want to plug about NG India or the community? Anything we didn't cover? I want to get in there, or
I mean, I wish to request all the speakers like you people and all our speakers from Angular community across the world that please try to come at least once. And from next time, I don't have to convince you to come yourself. Just so you ask Michael, you ask Jesse, like they keep coming, like Michael, Jesse, and Esteni Mira, she's again coming second time. She was here in 2019, and again she's coming. For Michael, it's third time, so here the love you get from the audience. I tell you, it especially if you're not coming from this kind of culture, you would find it really really overwhelming in a good way.
in a good way.
Right? Like it doesn't matter how good you are. I have not seen in NG Conf audiences asking 100 audiences lined up to get a selfie with any speaker.
Right.
Right? But here, like as soon as you are off stage, people will not leave you. Can I have a selfie with you? And some of them may not like it. That hey, I done my speaking. Let me go to the speaker chamber. But I have seen most of the speakers like that attention.
Yeah, that's so neat.
And then we take all our speakers to Taj Mahal next day, which is like a day drive. Like morning they start and come back in the night. Like 2019, I couldn't go. 2020, I couldn't go because next day I have to do a lot of billing and other stuff. So I have to stay. But all speakers and volunteers go together in a big bus. And again, speakers love that Taj Mahal trip. And of course, Indian food, if you're here.
Oh, yes.
All sounds amazing. Yeah.
So please come. So I was trying to plug in, like, please come.
Awesome.
Totally selling it for sure. Sounds amazing. For sure. Awesome. Well, let's do some picks if we have any picks, and then we'll call it a show. Do our panelists have any picks today? Anybody have any picks today?
I don't have any.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
All
good. Picks are not required, so it's totally optional.
I can have a pick.
Picks.
Okay.
Picks are now. Picks are now modules.
Right. Yeah. We tree shake them away, except for Mike's. Mike's we did import, so let's go ahead, Mike.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Mine's actually a segue for next week's episode with Builder.io, but I've been playing with Quick a little bit, and I've been really liking that a whole lot. So I want to explore more into that. So,
not to be confused with Nestle Quick, right?
Yeah, can you just define that?
QWIK.
Okay. All right. So, cool.
That's my pick of the week.
All right. So picking next week's episode and Quick. Got it. Nice. All right. Sounds good. Well, hey, DJ, thanks so much for coming on the show, sharing your time, sharing this information and this knowledge about, the whole community, all that experience in ngIndia. Everything that you do for the community is amazing. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and I look
For
forward
sure.
to meet you all.
Awesome.
Bye.
All right, that's a wrap. Have a good one, everyone. See you next time.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.